when do we actually allow ourselves rest? And when is it okay to have that time away where I am on my
Yeah.
phone?
Yeah.
Is that really a joy substitute?
That's a great question. It's a very important question. So it's always helpful to keep in mind joy is a relationship. So whenever you see joy in the Bible, it's a relationship. So for the joy set before him, Jesus endured the cross in Hebrews 12:2. So I like to tell people, put your name in replace joy with your name. So for Travis, Jesus, did endure the cross, right? Scorning its shame and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. So joy is a relationship. So you put your name in there because he did that for you, right? So it's very personal. And, Jesus said that, when we ask things in his name that we'll receive and our joy will be full. So again, you have to see joy in the context of a relationship. And it's when, like trying to find out, like, how do I do this? How do I balance, connecting with my wife? I'm tired and I don't feel like interacting. So what you describe is you need rest in those moments. Your wife might be looking for some glad to be together connection. And she's been, looking forward to this time in the evening that you guys would have together. And you're tired. Maybe it's been a hard day or a long day. You're ready for rest. So the question is really ultimately, what time is it? So if my wife and I, and this happens a lot, because my wife will, her go-to is connection over rest. My go-to is rest over connection. So what's restorative for me is quieting and resting. What's restorative for her is connecting. So part of it is, how do we find that rhythm? And so I might say, honey, I know you're really looking forward to connect. I'm tired. Could we just first rest for a few minutes? Let's quiet. Let's come here and sit on the couch next to me. Let me hold you. Let's just quiet for a few minutes and then let's connect. And what I find, this is where the joy switch comes in. What I find is, if I'm tired, it's hard to keep the joy switch on. I don't feel like interacting. I'd rather be on my phone. I'd rather be watching TV or whatever it might be. If I can quiet even for 2-3 minutes, then this joy switch tends to wake up and kind of come back online. And I actually then feel like connecting. And I'm like, okay, well, a couple minutes of just sitting here help me. Okay, now let's interact. Now I'm ready. So it helps to just understand when the non-relational part of my brain is running the show, I don't feel like connecting. I will feel like doing non-relational things. I don't want to be around people. I would rather be on my phone. And it's not that being on your phone is necessarily a bad thing. Where it becomes bad is when it starts to bleed into my relationships. And it starts, I'm on my phone more than I'm getting the relational connection. So part of it is just balancing the quieting, balancing the connecting in ways that respect where people are at. And so part of it is just having this conversation with my wife, like, honey, you are restored when you connect with people. Like, you want connection. Quieting is a little harder for her. Whereas for me, man, it's easy to quiet. I could go and quiet all day. Like, I can easily do that. But part of it's finding that rhythm of, can we quiet for a few minutes first? And then let's connect. Or maybe I need to go quiet for a few minutes and just breathe. And then go enter into the connecting. And again, it's connecting that really matches the energy that we have. And so I'm recovering from, being sick. And so my energy levels have been really low. So it's helpful that my family recognizes that. I say, guys, I miss you. I've been sick and I haven't been able to enter in, and I miss you guys. And so part of it is just even recognizing, wow, my energy is low. I haven't been able to enter in, but I'm looking forward to feeling better. And you connect with what you have to work with. And so where people get in trouble is they don't respect capacity. So if my wife is just, no, I'm missing you, whether you want to rest or not, we're going to connect. Well, what's going to happen? My joy switch is going to quickly go off, because now I'm feeling pushed here and I'm going through the motions. I'm not really in it. It's not going to be satisfying. So part of it is, how do we connect, recognizing where people are at and what they have to work with? And let's find that rhythm. And that changes by the day, but it helps to have this language, and it helps to recognize, am I in my relational sweet spot or not? And I would recognize interacting with my wife. Sometimes in the middle of a conversation, I would grab my phone and do something on my phone, like not even realizing I was doing it, and she would look at me like, am I boring you? Why did you just pick up your phone? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm really sorry, and that was rude. And I did that several times, and I could see by her face it wasn't bringing her joy. So I'm like, why am I doing this? So I took a little time one day, and I'm like, I'm going to pray about this and think about, why am I doing this? Because it's obviously not increasing the joy levels in my marriage. And the thought that I had when I was, thinking and praying about this was, when I needed a breather, instead of saying, honey, I need a breather, because my wife can, she's got an amazing brain that can hold on to many things at the same time. And she can, she's got like a super brain. She can just do it. I got like one thing. Like, give me, one thing. That's what I've got. Like, and you change, I can't do two things or three things. I've got like one. And then I can't do it anymore. My brain can't multitask. And so what was happening, I was just I needed a breather. I needed a moment to quiet. And instead of doing that, my phone became a beep. And I picked up my phone and I started doing stuff. And now what I do when we interact, I just say, honey, I think I need a breather here before we tackle the next, topic. Could we just can I just give me like 2 minutes? I just need a breather. I just need to go outside and walk the dogs around the yard for a moment. I'll be back. So what I needed was a quiet to keep the connecting going. But instead of recognizing that, my brain went to, kind of pseudo quiet. And that's where the phone became a problem. Otherwise, no, the phone can be useful and productive and all that. But it's when it interrupts the relational stuff that you're trying to steward in your family or your community or your church and so forth. That's where we have to work a little harder initially to find that rhythm and just to respect people's capacity. Some of us have amazing capacity for connection. Some of us don't. And so how do we navigate that terrain in a satisfying way?